Have you ever felt like life has knocked you down so hard that getting up again feels impossible? Have you ever stared at your dreams and thought, maybe I'm just not good enough? Maybe this isn't meant for me? If you've ever felt that way, then J.K. Rowling's story is one you need to hear. Because before she became one of the most successful authors in history, before the world knew about Harry Potter, she was broken, struggling, and on the edge of giving up. Rowling's journey didn't start with fame or fortune. It started with heartbreak. She grew up loving stories, scribbling down ideas and tales even as a child. But the world didn't hand her an easy path. After university, her early adult life was filled with uncertainty and disappointment. She couldn't hold down steady jobs, and inside she battled a growing sense of failure. Writing was the only thing that gave her life meaning. But even then, it wasn't paying the bills. When she moved to Portugal to teach English, it seemed like a fresh start. She got married, and for a while, it looked like her life was finding direction. But that hope quickly shattered. The marriage was troubled from the beginning, and eventually it ended in divorce. Rowling was left as a single mother, with a baby in her arms, and no stable future ahead. She returned to the UK carrying not only her daughter, but also the crushing weight of shame, poverty, and heartbreak. Those years were some of the darkest in her life. She lived on welfare, barely able to make ends meet. She has admitted that she felt like she had failed at everything, failed at her marriage, failed at her career, and failed at building the life she once dreamed of. Depression crept in, whispering that she was worthless, that there was no way out. At her lowest point, she even thought about ending her life. And yet, through all of that despair, there was one thing that kept her going: her stories. Rowling would sit in cafes, her daughter asleep beside her, and pour her pain, her hope, and her imagination into the pages of a manuscript about a boy who lived. A boy who would discover he was more powerful than he ever knew. Think about the irony here. While her own life felt hopeless, she was creating a story filled with hope. While she felt powerless, she wrote about courage. While she felt unloved, she created a world of friendship, loyalty, and belonging. That's the beauty of her journey. Her darkest moments became the soil from which something magical grew. But when the manuscript was finally ready and sent out to publishers, rejection after rejection followed. 12 different publishers told her no. Some said the book was too long. Others didn't believe children would be interested. One by one, the doors closed in her face. For someone already fighting poverty and depression, those rejections could have been the final nail in the coffin of her dreams. And here's where the story becomes powerful. Because Rowling didn't quit. She kept holding on, even when it seemed pointless. She believed that her story mattered, even if no one else believed it yet. And then, one day, Bloomsbury Publishing said yes. Not because the executives saw the potential, most of them didn't, but because the CEO's 8-year-old daughter read the first chapter and begged to know what happened next. That small spark of excitement from a child changed everything. From that single yes, Rowling's life transformed. Harry Potter went on to sell over 500 million copies worldwide, translated into dozens of languages, adapted into one of the most successful movie franchises in history. But the real miracle isn't the numbers. It's the fact that the woman who felt like a failure, who thought she had nothing left, refused to give up. Her story reminds us that rejection is not the end. Heartbreak is not the end. Poverty is not the end. Rock bottom does not mean your life is over. It can mean you're about to rebuild on a stronger foundation. Rowling herself said, "Rock bottom became the solid foundation on which I rebuilt my life." And maybe right now you're facing your own rock bottom. Maybe you've been rejected. Maybe you've lost someone you loved. Maybe you feel like your dream is slipping away. If that's you, let Rowling's story remind you that you're not finished. Your story isn't over. Rejection doesn't define you. It refines you. Heartbreak doesn't destroy you. It shapes you. J.K. Rowling's life is proof that even when the world tells you no, even when everything feels hopeless, you can rise. All it takes is one yes. And that yes might be waiting for you, just beyond the next rejection, just beyond the next setback, just beyond the moment you're tempted to give up. So the next time life tells you no, remember Rowling. Remember that one of the most beloved stories in the world came from a woman the world had counted out. And remember that the same resilience that carried her through is inside of you too. Because here's the truth. You are not defined by your rejections. You are not defined by your heartbreak, and you are not defined by your failures. You are defined by what you choose to do next.